before I go further, I just want to reiterate that for 3 of you, 1, 2, and 3, when you attend this class, you will be given the exemption if you want to take up a qualification program that will be done by Kazan Federal University later. Meaning that when you sit for this class, you will be exempted from sitting one of the 6 modules that you are going to attend for getting the certification program later. Those who come yesterday and today, they will be exempted for 2 of the modules. Okay? To get the certification, you need to sit for 6 modules. Right? If you sit for 6 modules, then you will be eligible to sit for an assessment. And if you pass the assessment, then you will be awarded with the what we call it as associate qualifications in Islamic finance, which is endorsed by the Central Bank of Malaysia and also the Financial Accredited Agency, which is recognized worldwide. In short, they call it AQIF. AQIF. Associate Qualification in Islamic finance. If you need further information, maybe you can contact the Kazan Federal University. Okay, that is our part. Now, for today's session, okay, you got it, ready? Let me tell you our schedule. The break, we are having the class until 3:10 p.m. And then we shall continue 3:30 up to 4:50 p.m. And then we have a break 5:20 p.m. up to 6:30 p.m. Okay? And then we shall take a break at 6:40 p.m. to 8:10 p.m. We are going to try to sit for a test. Okay? Everybody of you will be given a set of questions, the multiple choice questions. These questions is basically the questions that you need to sit if you complete the 6 module. Okay, it's an example. Okay, and then we try to discuss the questions and also I will give you the answer. So at least you know, you can feel it how to sit for the test. If you complete attending the 6 module that I told you before. All right? Okay? So this is our schedule today. Meaning that we have this schedule until 10. Now we have to, our break will be at 3:10 for today. 3:10 and then 4:50 and then 4:50, and then 6:30. This is our break, right? And then 6:40 we start with our testing sample. Remember, the paper that I'm going to pass over to you for the testing, you cannot keep it to yourself. I will take back. Just for you to have a look and feel it. Okay, this is the question, how to answer the questions, and then the trick, how to answer the question. I will tell you everything. Okay? Okay. Just to recap what we have learned, what I have shared with you yesterday, for the benefit of our new friends here, we are learning yesterday about what is Islamic banking, what is Islamic finance. Because whenever you go anywhere, people will ask you, I heard you are doing Islamic banking. I heard you are doing Islamic finance. Can you please tell me, what is Islamic finance? It's very simple question. And you should answer it by a simple answer. Yes, you got something?
Islamic finance is a finance which are based on Islamic law.
Very good. This lady answered the questions. Islamic finance or Islamic banking is actually banking activities, banking operations, which is based on Islamic law. That's it. I repeat, the banking activities, the banking operation based on Islamic law. If you, sometimes they call it Sharia. Sharia means Islamic law. Do we have to create a new system, a new banking, Islamic banking? No need. Existing banking activities, what you are doing at the moment, what the whole world is doing at the moment is a banking activities. All we need to do in order to comply with Sharia, you must follow the Islamic law in banking. I also shared with you yesterday 4 things. In banking, you have to put away, kick out these 4 things from the banking activities. If you kick out these 4 things from the banking activities, your banking activities, your finance operation will be Sharia compliant, meaning that you will get the status. What are these 4? What are these 4 things? Exactly. Interest. In Arabic they call it riba. That's the first thing. No interest. And how interest is created? You give 100, you get back more than 100. Loan. I loan you 100 USD and I tell you, Mr. Yunus, you pay me back 110 next month. The 10 USD is interest. Or, Mr. Yunus, I give you 100. And Mr. Yunus said, oh, thank you very much, Razli. I will promise to pay you 110 bucks next month. That one also interest because you promise to pay me extra. You understand? Loan, you cannot promise the interest. You cannot demand the interest. Simple as that. If loan. Meaning that the relationship between me and Mr. Yunus is I am the lender and Mr. Yunus is the borrower. That is the first type of interest that is not allowed by Islam. The second type of interest which is not allowed by Islam is something like this. Mr. Yunus, I give you 100 bucks today. I loan you my money. And I want Mr. Yunus to pay me back next month also 100 bucks. On next month, Mr. Yunus said to me, Razli, can I delay my payment? Can I pay you by next week, for example? At that time, I charge you interest because you pay me late. I charge you a certain percentage. You have to pay me extra of 10 bucks because you pay late. That is also interest which is not allowed under banking. Okay? That is the two types that you have to know. Interest, number one, they call it interest cost. Another one is interest jahiliyah. Remember, I told you yesterday? Okay? These are all, if you open up any books related to riba or interest in Islam, they will talk about riba qad or riba jahiliyah. So this is the first element in banking you have to kick out. Okay? You understand so far? Okay, so far so good? I'm trying to give you a very fundamental, very simple explanation. So by having the basic, you should be able to, to learn more and more. Okay. Who want to try? Number 2. What is number 2? Gharar, yeah, good. Gharar is we call it as uncertainty or ambiguity. This is the word I'm trying to find yesterday. The same thing. This one is very certain, even in conventional banking as well. In your document, agreement, you must make sure when we sign the agreement, you understand what is in agreement. I also understand what is in an agreement. For example, I give you a real example happening. When I come here in Kazan Federal University, okay, I have to sign one agreement with them. Okay, in Kazan, Mr. Kazan. I think something to do with, I don't know what. The agreement is in Russian. I look at it, what is this? Okay, so natural fact, I do not understand what it's all about. But of course, our Kazan Federal University explained to me, this is the agreement about things to blah 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 and so on. I had this clause is relatively is a standard clause in the regulation by the university, things like that. So okay, all right. Though I sign. Okay, so it's very important. Very important that you, as the client of the bank, understand what is written in the agreement. Transparency. The bank must reveal everything. For example, under murabahah, you know murabahah, we talk about the sale contract. Cost plus sale. We buy the house, for example, you want to get financing for the house. The bank will buy the house from the developer at one price, and then the bank will sell to you at a different price. Remember? In the agreement between the bank and the customer, the bank must tell the customer, customer, the cost price I buy the house is at 100,000, for example. And now I am selling this house to you at 120,000. Meaning that my profit is 20,000. It must be clearly stated in the agreement. That is what we talk about the transparency here. If the customer don't like it, the customer don't sign. I don't want. I want to go for another bank, for example. Other bank give me 110,000 only. So I go to another bank. The customer have the choice. That is why transparency is very important. Gharar here is very, very important, meaning that you should not hide anything from the customer. And we learned yesterday, gharar, the small one, the big one. Remember? And we give the example like the insurance. Why insurance is not permissible in Islam? Because of the issue of gharar. Okay, we shared that one yesterday. Number 3. What are things that we need to kick out of the banking? Remember? What element? Maisir. Gambling here is maisir. I told you yesterday, speculation sometimes is okay. The speculation which is not allowed by Sharia is when it comes to the element of zero-sum game. Right? What is zero-sum game? One lose, one win. You know, I give you an example. We are playing the dice. You know dice? Dice. The dice. Okay. Mr. Yunus, you put 10 bucks here. 10 bucks. I put 10 bucks. You put 10 bucks. You put 10 bucks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I ask 10 bucks. I number 1, you number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. So we throw the dice. Number 2. Who is number 2? You won. You will get all the money and everybody else lose. So that is zero-sum game. If that element exists, sorry, cannot. Okay? And the last one. What is number 4? Remember the negative list I'm talking about yesterday? Any of the prohibition. Negative list is the list of business and activities which is not permissible by Islam. For example, in Malaysia, I share with most of our friends here. Number 1, if the business involved in tobacco, in Malaysia, yeah? If the company involved in tobacco come to Islamic bank to do financing, sorry, we can't give you financing because you are related to tobacco and tobacco is inside the negative list. If you are doing the business with liquor, you come to the bank and you want to make financing. Sorry, you can't because liquor is in this negative list. And there are few more negative lists, and this negative list will be decided by the Sharia advisor or by the Sharia advisor or by the management of the bank themselves. They will decide what kind of activities, what kind of business should be listed in this negative list. Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have your banking activities, banking operation. You kick out of these 4. You will get the correct. You will get the what we call the Sharia status for that particular Islamic banking, the banking activities. Okay. I am still, recap what we learned yesterday. Okay. Yesterday also we are talking about the source of fund. This is a bank. We have source of fund. The bank will receive money from the source of fund, which is from savings account, current account, and fixed deposit account. Right? It's normal. Everywhere you go in this world, one of the source of funds by the bank is from saving, current, and fixed deposit account. And the bank will use this source of fund to finance out or to do some investment. They call it application of funds. I also shared with you yesterday the relationship, remember, between the customer and the bank. When we are doing the conventional banking, the relationship between the bank and the customer is always lender and borrower. Under conventional bank, if the customer come to the bank, the customer will deposit the money with the bank. The customer is the lender, the bank is the borrower. Right? The bank will promise the customer, I will pay you some interest if you put in the money with us. When the bank got the money, the bank will use the money to give loan to another customer. Right? So in this process here, the bank become the lender and the customer become the borrower. Relationship very important. Lender borrower, borrower lender. Lender borrower and borrower and lender. This is talk about the conventional bank. If we are using Islamic finance, the relationship between the customer and the bank will be different. It will depends on the Sharia contract use. Yesterday, I explained to you two of the normal, what I call the normal Sharia contract use in the deposit products here. Number one is mudarabah, which means trustee profit sharing. The second one is wadi'ah, meaning safe custody. You want to take a picture? Okay. These two products is widely used in Malaysia since 1983. Savings account is number one, this number two. They use one, they use contracts. Current account, they use one, they use two. Meaning that for savings account, they have mudarabah savings account, they have wadiah savings account. Current account, they have mudarabah current account, they have wadiah current account. And for fixed deposit, it's only number one, mudarabah fixed deposit. Okay, in 2010, one more contract has been developed in the deposit product. They call it wakalah. Meaning agency. Agency. Let me explain to you these three contracts. This wakalah is here. And also here. If you go to the bank, you tell the bank, bank, can you please help me to keep my money? Bank, can you please help me to keep my money? You are utilizing wadiah contract. Bank, can you please invest my money? Bank, can you please invest my money? This is the contract use, mudarabah. Okay? Bank, can you please manage my money? Wakalah. Easy? Understand? So that is the basic contract that you need to understand. You come to the bank, bank, can you please keep my money? Wadiah. Bank, can you please invest my money? Mudarabah. Bank, can you please manage my money? Wakalah. For example, in Malaysia, you have the pilgrimage savings account. Whoever want to go to Mecca to Haji, they can keep the money with the pilgrimage foundation in Malaysia. They call it tabung haji. This is under wakalah. The customer come to the tabung haji and said, can you please manage my money so I can go to Mecca in few years time. This is under wakalah. If you are the housewife, for example, every month your husband give you money to keep. Say, you don't want to keep your money under the pillow. Maybe somebody will steal it. So you go to the bank and you said, bank, can you please keep and look after my money? Under wadi'ah, safe custody. Or if you come to the bank, I think I don't want to use the money. I want to keep my money for 1 year. I don't want to use my money. So I come to the bank. I said to the bank, bank, I want to keep the money with you for 12 months. And can you please invest this money for me? That is under mudarabah, which is trustee profit sharing. So these all are under the source of fund. Okay, very, very basic. So that is what that is what we have go through yesterday, basically in general. And today we shall continue a little bit on this side, application of funds. And also I will share with you some of the actual transaction, the products that is available in Malaysia, so that when you look at it, you feel that this is the real experience that you are going to have when many banks in Kazan implement Islamic banking later. Application of fund. Under deposit product, you have wadiah, you have mudarabah, you have wakalah. Okay, you have safe custody contract, you have trustee profit sharing contract, and you have agency contract. Under the application of fund, Shariah contract can be divided into 4 types. Number 1 is a sale contract or trading, sometimes we'll call it. Number 2, participating contract. Number 3, loan contract. And number 4, they call it as supporting contract. ladies and gentlemen, in this world, you go everywhere, you read books, you listen to any of the Sharia scholars, you listen to any experts in Islamic finance all over the world. All the Sharia contracts available in this world will be all here. 4 types. That is why I want to stress the importance of you all to understand these 4. You go out there, maybe one day you will become the CEO of the bank. When your staff comes in and tell you, Mr. CEO, I have one product, very good product. This product is basically will be sellable in the market. The first question for a good CEO asks is that, can I know what contract that has been used for this product? This product is using the contract of murabahah, for example, which is cost plus sale. Strictly in your mind, you know that this is the contract number 1. Right? So when you think this murabahah is under sale contract, straight away you must think in your mind, what are the essential elements of the sale contract? I told you yesterday, the sale contract must have 5 essential elements. Remember? They must have a buyer, seller, price, the merchandise, the what you call the asset, want to sell and buy, and the contract or akad, which is offer acceptance here. You are a good CEO, you straight away can, murabahah. Who is the buyer? Your customer. Who is the seller? You as the bank. What is the price that you are going to charge the customer? What is the asset to sell and buy? Is the asset belong to us before we sell to the customer? Can we deliver the asset to the customer? And the agreement. You look at the agreement. There must be the offer and there must be an acceptance. This is what you should know. So, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sale contract, you must have the underlying asset. You want to sell something, you must have the asset. The asset can be tangible. The asset can be intangible. The tangible asset and the tangible asset is the asset that must be approved by your Sharia advisor. Okay? Like insurance. Insurance company is selling what? There is no real asset. That's why it's categorized under the gharar, uncertainty, so insurance is not allowed. Number 2, participating contract is a contract talking about joint venture. Mr. Yunus and me, let we go join together, we do one business. We know there's a project, the project cost is 100,000, you put in 60,000, I put in 40,000. and then we do the business together. If profit, we share 50-50 or 70-30 or whatever you want to, we want to share. We agreed earlier. That is musyarakah, for example. Under the participating contract, ladies and gentlemen, in this world, there are only 4 contracts available. Easy to remember. Number 1 is musyarakah. You can read the books later. Okay? Lot of examples there. Number 2 is mudarabah. Number 3, muzara'ah. And number 4, musaqah. M-U-S-A-Q-A-H. Okay? Only these 4. Other than this contract is not participating contract. This one, musyarakah, means joint venture profit sharing. Mudarabah means trustee profit sharing. Muzara'ah and musaqah. Sorry. What is it? Sorry? Okay. Okay, I do it slowly. Again. Musyarakah meaning joint venture profit sharing. Mudarabah trustee profit sharing. The difference between musyarakah and mudarabah is like this. I and Mr. Yunus, we want to join venture, we want to do business. Okay? So I put in 40,000, you put in 60,000. The cost of the business, the cost of the project, 100,000. So we do the business together. Okay, we work together, we do the business. And when the what we call the profit, we got the profit will be distributed among us according to the profit sharing ratio which has been agreed earlier. The contribution of the capital, I am 40%, you are 60%. But the profit can be anything. Let's say you agree 50-50. So we take the profit, let's say out of 100,000, we got profit 40,000. 20,000 for me and 20,000 for you. Because we agreed earlier, the profit sharing ratio is 50-50. Things like that. That one is musyarakah, joint venture profit sharing. If the project, we lose the project, you lose 60,000, I lose 40,000. So that is the profit and the risk that we are taking. The difference with mudarabah is that Mr. Yunus is very good entrepreneur. You are very good in business. I am no good in business. but I have a lot of money. The project is 100,000. I said to Mr. Yunus, I know you are very good in business, this project. I give 100% capital to you. 100,000 to you. You manage the project. And when you got the profit, I want 70%. You take 30%, for example. You agree or not? Agree. For example. So Mr. Yunus will do the business. And if, for example, they got their, let's say the profit 100,000 as well, you will get 30,000 and I will get 70,000 according to profit sharing ratio. If the business lost, we lost the business, I will bear all the loss because my money 100% will gone or maybe reduced. Maybe I got back 70,000 or something like that. And you will lose what point? Your time, your energy, things like that. So that is the contract of mudarabah. Okay, you follow? Simple. And these two, muzara'ah and musaqah, is related to agriculture. Agriculture. For muzara'ah, the example, again, I use Mr. Yunus as an example because I like his face. I like you. Okay. Mr. Yunus has a very big, what we call farm. Yeah, farm. Okay. In the farm, you can, you have, let's say, you have many cows. Cows, Cows, easy. So I said to Mr. Yunus, let me handle all the cows, everything. And when we sell off the cows, you give me a little bit profit to me, and you will get some, I will get some. And how much is the profit sharing ratio? We agreed. That's one of example. Or another example, you have a big land. We try to plant some fruits, apples. For example, apples tree. You have the land. I said, never mind, Mr. Yunus. I will buy the seeds of apples. You know, I will plant the apple. I will make sure everything is done. Once I sell off the apples in one season, got the profit, we share. Muzara'ah. Musaqat. This is more like, have you heard paddy field? Paddy field. You know rice? Rice? Okay. Mr. Yunus have the land. Sorry, I take back. I take back. That's not a good example. Musaqah is something like watering the orchard. You know, watering the orchard. You have the land, you have the trees, but my job is to ensure that the tree grow better. I put in fertilizer, I make sure that the water is enough, things like that. Make sure the, what you call the small drain, the small drain in the field is well managed, things like that. And the tree will come out with many fruits. And when we sell the fruits, we share the profit. So these are the two of the contract used in agriculture normally. A very well accepted in the African country like Sudan, Nigeria, things like that. Nevertheless, these 4 contracts, when it going to be implemented in Islamic banking, we have a few issues. For example, in Malaysia, we have musyarakah financing on the project. The problem here is that, number one, if the customer default payment, are you default, cannot pay, if the customer cannot pay the payment, are you going to make the customer bankrupt? If the customer bankrupt, you, the partner of the customer, meaning you also bankrupt. That's one of the issue. Okay. Number 2 issue is that in accounting entries, where you want to put in the asset in your book, in your banking book. Okay, I don't want to go further on that part, but there is some issues raised in Malaysia, and we are doing it slowly for that. We are trying to find a solution for that. At the moment in Malaysia, we have musyarakah and mudarabah for financing. And this one, number 3 and number 4, still do not implemented in Malaysia. Okay? Participating contract. Number 3 is loan contract. Yes, in Islam, whenever you give loan to the customer, you give 1,000, you will get back 1,000. You cannot charge interest, or even you cannot receive the promised interest from your customer. Okay, in banking, the Sharia contract that has been used, they call it qard, Q-A-R-D, qard. And sometimes they are also known as qard hasan. Qard, and they add in Hasan, H-A-S-A-N. Hasan is a name of a person, right? Something. Anybody here named Hasan, or anybody relative got the Hasan? Qard, Q-A-R-D, means loan. Qard Hasan means benevolent loan. Benevolent loan. Benevolent. Benevolent. How to spell benevolent? Benevolent. Benevolent. Huh? Benevolent. Benevolent. Benevolent loan. Something like that. You check the spelling. Or sometimes we call it good loan. G-O-O-D. Good loan. That's why the meaning of Hasan means good or benevolent. benevolent. O here. Okay. What is the difference? Qad and Qad Hasan. Can you remind me your name again one more time?
Edward.
Edward. Okay, now I use this guy, Edward. Okay, it's not fair. I use your name only. Edward, because he's not married yet. You want to get married? Edward said, Razli, can you borrow me 50,000? Yes, I said can, because you want to get married, why not? Okay, I give you 50,000. And I said to him, whenever you have money, you repay me back. You follow? Whenever you have money, you repay me back. This is Qad Hasan, good loan or benevolent loan. Okay. Right. Edward, you want 50,000? I will give you 50,000. But after 1 year, 12 months, you pay me back that 50,000. There is a timeline. That is loan. So that's the difference. You see what's the difference? The timeline, another one, if you have money, you pay back. You don't have money, you wait until you have money. That is why they call it as good loan, benevolent loan. Alright? In Malaysia, the contract used is Qad, Q-A-R-D. Way back in 1983, when we started Islamic banking, maybe they used the word, the contract of Qad Hasan. But now, no more. The reason, if we use Qad Hasan contract, the customer default, the customer do not pay back. You bring into the court. And the court will ask the lawyers, what is the contract used? And the lawyer will say, Qad Hasan, my lord. The judge then will tell the lawyer, do you know the meaning of Qad Hasan? Yes, sir, I know the meaning of Qad Hasan. That means loan, for example. And the judge will continue asking, is the customer now has the money? And the customer will show proof that he doesn't have money. Do you know what is the decision the judge will make? The judge will tell the lawyer, you have to wait until the customer is proven to have the money. then the customer have to pay. As long as there is an evidence to say that the customer do not have money, the bank has no right to demand the money from the customer, because the contract use is called Hasan. That is why in Tatarstan, in Kazan, if you want to set up the bank, if you want to give loan, interest-free loan to your customer, to your good customer, make sure you leave out, you left out, don't put Hasan beside the word court. Then you will be safe. We have one question here.
Хорошо, у него нет денег, да?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay.
У клиента денег нет. Но у него есть зарплата. У него есть 2 машины. Можем мы потребовать продать машину?
Okay, very good question again, the practical questions. See, that's why the lawyer of the customer have to prove that the customer do not have any asset, do not have any money to pay. The lawyer for the bank, maybe they can find evidence to prove that that customer has money. They have cars, 2 houses, 4 wives, for example. And the judge will decide whether which one is the right one. If the judge think the bank is correct, the lawyers of the bank is correct, then the judge will say, yes, the customer is actually have money to pay, so he must pay. If the lawyer of the bank fail to prove that the customer has the money, then the judge will say, you have to wait until the customer have the money. Then the customer will pay. Okay? Good questions? Very interesting. I don't even start my slide. But it's good. It's good understanding because we continue from yesterday. We have source of fund and we have application of fund. Supporting contract. Okay. I will go through the slide because this one, the sale contract and also the supporting contract, we will discuss in deep later. These are all the contracts in sale contracts. There are so many contracts available. Some of the contracts names are later I will show you in the slide. like murabaha is here. Ijarah, which is leasing, here. By muajjal, meaning that deferred payment sale. We have istisna, which means
different or deferred?
Deferred. Deferred payment sale. By muajjal. We have istisna, which means manufacturing sale. We have salam, meaning that order sale, and many more sales. Okay, we will discuss later. Under the supporting contract, some of the things that you need to know is ujrah. UJRAH means fee. Ujrah means fee, F-E-E. You remember when we use the contract of wakalah, the agency just now, you appoint Edward as my agent. I appoint you as my agent under the wakalah contract. Agency, you are my agent. Therefore, you can charge me ujrah. You can charge me fee for that. So that fee is ujrah. You buy a house. You get financing from the bank. So the bank will buy the house from the developer under mudarabah contract and sell to you at cost plus sale, Edward. You have to pay me back on deferred payment for 15 years. In order to ensure that you pay me the payment every month, you must mortgage, you must collect collateral, you must make your house as collateral to me, to the bank. That is the contract of rahnu. Okay, rahnu means collateral. All right. We also have the contract of We also have the contract of IBRA. IBRA apostrophe means rebate. Edward buy the house from the bank at 120,000. The cost price is 100,000. The profit the bank make is 20,000. The tenure for 15 years. Okay, you pay every month the monthly installment. After 7 years, Edward come to the bank and said, "Bank, I want to full settle the total amount." The cost 100K. 100K meaning 100,000. You know that the word? The selling price 120,000. The profit 20,000. You know very well when you pay the monthly installment, the payment is P plus I. Have you heard about this one? Rule 78, P plus what? I? Rule 78, have you heard before? How many of you know about the profit, the principal plus interest calculation? I think most of you, maybe some of you do not know. Okay, fine. Never mind. I don't want to touch on this one first. Tenure, 15 years. Now, after 7 years, Edward come to the bank. He want to full settle. The bank will check how much Edward has paid. Let's say Edward has paid 100, has paid, let's say after 10 years, make it after 10 years, it's easy, 10 years. 100, you have paid 100, so no, 100. Okay, 110,000 paid by Edward after 10 years. Okay? Alright? So, this is P plus I lah. P plus I ya. P plus I. So, Edward should pay how much at 10 years? Edward should pay the selling price at 120,000, but he pay early, meaning that at these 10 years, the bank will look at the principal balance of Edward loan amount. And that principal balance will be the amount to be paid by Edward. Let's say the balance of the principal is only, let's say, around 4,000. The principal balance, 4,000. Let's say, assume. And the unearned income, the unearned is 6,000, right? This altogether 10,000. This one plus this one equivalent to selling price. So, the bank will ask Edward to pay only 4,000 instead of 10,000. And the 6,000 is the amount to be rebate to Edward. Meaning, you won't get the cash, but you do not have to pay this extra 6,000. At the end of the period, after 10 years, instead of you pay 120,000, you are paying only 114,000 only for your house because you pay early. This rebate is under the contract of Ibrah. This is more a bit complicated, but if you are working in the bank, you must know it. Okay, even to the extent in the bank, every time when you do financing or loan, the bank will produce what they call it as repayment table. Have you heard? You have come across repayment table? all banks must have this repayment table. I don't want to explain this. If I explain this, then everybody will be confused. If you want to know further, you can always Google and get the information from the Google, okay? Repayment table. And this repayment table is very important for you to use when you want to calculate the rebate or IBRA to be given to the customer. And this repayment table, this rebate mechanism is now widely used in Malaysia. And even the Central Bank of Malaysia has told the bank, if your customer come to the bank and to early settle their payment, you must give rebate. There's a guideline. Okay? What's the time now? Yeah. Yes.
По таблице у нас написано, вот эта таблица сначала банк взимает проценты, потом на конце срока оставляет, значит, основной доллар. Есть пропорции. А у вас как? В двух словах только.
Yeah, because you see, I use this is the conventional term, right? Principal interest. This one monthly installment. Repayment table. Let's say the customer installment ni months, huh? Month, let's say the customer pay on monthly basis in month 1, month 2, month 3, and month 4, and up to let's say 5 years, 60 months. The installment, let's say all are the same. The customer has to pay, let's say 1,000 every month. So meaning that the total payment will be 60,000. This is the selling price. Okay, you follow me so far? Okay. Simple. Just a very simple. Under rules 78. This is international standard rule 78 they call it. If you want to know why they call it 78, you have to find from the internet, okay? There's a story behind that. Let's say 60 months, let's say the rate is 15% per annum on monthly rest. Now I'm introducing to you monthly rest. Sometimes they are using constant rate of return, they are using a flat rate, they are using the monthly rest, yearly rest. All this one is very, very technical, but forget about it. You continue. We assume 15% per annum on monthly rest. On monthly rest. Okay? This is the way how the bankers calculate. Okay? The cost 40,000, let's say. Selling price is 60,000. Selling price. the profit will be 20,000, let's say, yeah. Tenure 60 months, which is 5 years. This is the repayment table. The first, when the customer pay 1,000 ringgit, remember, it will be, I assume, the principal will be around, let's say, 400. The interest for the bank will be 600 for the first month. This is repayment table. So, if you look the cost and the selling price, meaning that after you pay 1,000, later I will explain back to you on your side. After the first month, the outstanding selling price will be 59,000. Okay? Let me finish. The outstanding cost or principal amount will be 40,000 minus 400, meaning that minus 400, 39. You see what I mean? And the profit, 20,000, unearned profit now, leftover will be minus 600. The unearned income will be 19,400. This is happen when the customer pay the first installment of the month. All this will be reflected in the system of the bank. Now, on the second month, the customer paid another 1,000. Okay? The system will calculate how much interest that the bank must get. The interest calculation will be 15% of the outstanding principal on the second month. What is the outstanding principal? 39,600. And the amount definitely will be lesser than 600. Let's assume the amount of interest calculation is 580 based on the 50%. So how much principal here? 1,000 minus by 580, it will be 400 and this is rule 78. The principal amount will go up, 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 and up. The interest amount will go down. This is repayment table. The question our friends, our brother asked just now is, can we do right? The customer pay 1,000, but everything will take as the profit for the bank. Meaning that until 20 months, right? You're right. Until year 20 months, meaning that this profit completed 1,000, and at 20 months, the outstanding principal still 40,000. Correct? Correct? Whether it can be done or not. In Malaysia, Sharia Advisory Council silent about it. The reason, if you do this, the customer will run away from your business, run away from your bank. They have another 20 banks offer better than this. Meaning that, from Sharia perspective, there is no such thing as P plus I. What has been contracted is the customer has to pay 1,000 installment every month for 60 months in order to pay back the selling price that has been agreed at 60,000 for 5 years. All right? I think we can discuss later because this is a time break already. Are you okay, brother? So something like that. Okay. Yeah. 78. Yes, it's applicable. Rule 78 is applicable. Huh?
What's the point?
The reason why, what is the point, is because you want to see, you want to get the rebate, how much rebate that you are going to give. That's the reason. We take a break, 15 minutes, and then we come back. All right? Thank you very much.